What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Nick.
My name's Nathan.
And this is Full Throttle Cars. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing a 2020 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Alright guys, so jumping under the hood of the 2020 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. This one is equipped with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that puts out 270 horsepower as well as 295 pound-feet of torque. You can look at the little turbo right over there on the side of the engine. There's also a 6-cylinder engine option, but this one is equipped with the turbocharged 4-cylinder.
Alright guys, so one of the big things that Jeep does is that they put little Easter eggs in around the Wrangler. And these little Easter eggs come in the form of old World War II Jeeps. So there's one on each wheel. This one is right here up on the top right section, and if we went around the vehicle you could see them all. And then there is another one right here sort of climbing up the windshield. You guys can see that it's almost under the windshield wiper. This is a really cool thing that Jeep does, and it's always fun to find them a little while after you get your Jeep, because it's like, oh my gosh, I never noticed that before. Anyway, so like I was saying, these Jeeps were the World War II Jeeps, and these were the first Jeeps that the Jeep company ever produced. And you can see even from the model on these that the Jeep Wrangler really has not changed that entirely much from the original World War II Jeep.
Alright guys, so another neat little plaque that there is back here. You've got the JL Wrangler in both the 2-door and 4-door configurations. Just shows you the dimensions, the wheelbase, and the overall length. But it also shows you water fording here. You can go up to 5 miles per hour in 30 inches of water, and it also shows the width over there on the right as well. Then you also have the developed in Auburn Hills and built in Toledo, Ohio. Jeep has been in production, as Nathan previously said, since World War II, when they built the first Jeep specifically for the military in 1941. So jumping onto the interior, we come in, we've got this nice leather wrapped with red stitching here on the handle. The interior of this Jeep is black leather with red stitching. There's a lot of red accents all over, including this Rubicon stitched into both the driver and the front passenger seats. Looking at the steering wheel, it is also leather wrapped with red stitching. The dash up here, it is plastic, but it is a nicer looking plastic. The red dash across. And then up top here, we actually do have leather wrap up here with some more red stitching. This car comes equipped with the automatic headlights. It's also got blind spot monitoring. You can see in the little triangle up there. It also has adaptive cruise control. Your controls are right here on the steering wheel. If you want to increase the follow distance or decrease your following distance behind the nearest car. As with most cars, it does have the Bluetooth phone system as well. Coming here into the center console area, you actually have your window switches up here in the center area underneath the climate control. This car does have a heated steering wheel as well as heated seats in the front. Coming down here, you can see the differential locks right here. You can do the front and rear or the rear only. Here you have the 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive, the different selector right here, as well as the gear selector here as well. All of these are nice and leather wrapped right here and right here, as well as the handbrake. leather wrapped with red stitching. Over here on the passenger side, one thing that you definitely do not get in every vehicle is this little hand bar up front for the passenger. I assume for when you're off-roading or something and you want to grab that just in case you're feeling uneasy or something like that. But then again, you've got, I believe right here is the hill descent control, as well as parking assist sensors off. A lot of neat things here in the Jeep. You've got some different auxiliary buttons down here that you can, I assume, program different things if you put any light bars on here or things of that nature. You got this media thing here that opens up, and you've got a USB port, your auxiliary port, as well as a micro USB slot.
Alright guys, so jumping into the back seat of this vehicle, you can see that the back seats do have that same black leather with red stitching, which I personally think looks really cool on this vehicle. If you are thinking about purchasing one yourself, I would highly recommend this. And then on the control system here, you can see the windows are still in the center. If you want to raise and lower your windows, you lean into the center. It's really interesting how they have those right here. You also have your USB and micro USB right there with a 115 volt outlet to charge whatever you have in the back. Alright guys, so if you have enjoyed the video so far, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. Help pushing us up in subscribers. Maybe one day we'll hit that 5,000 subscriber mark.
Alright guys, so I want to show you this little startup sequence. It's really neat. You'll see the Rubicon come across the top as well as a little Jeep drive across the bottom. So we're going to start it up and you guys can see that. You see that little Jeep drive down across where the miles are. That is a really neat little feature on the digital display.
Alright guys, so a little neat thing that you can do whenever you are actually driving in the vehicle. Go ahead and show them, Nick.
You can click on the backup camera and then you can actually see the backup camera even though we are currently driving forward. It's just in a bunch of these little controls. You see we got the heated seats, which I do like how you can also use the heated seat button here. You don't have to go into the infotainment system to find it. But if you want to do that, you can. Alright guys, so just a couple things I've noticed so far. We're here just still driving on the back roads. I haven't been going very fast, but inside so far it is pretty quiet. You're not really, even with the open top, we do have both the windows down. You can talk at a normal voice level without having to raise your voice for the passenger seat to hear you. Another thing that I have found with more of the driving aspect is this does do very well over large bumps and rocks and stuff, as it obviously should be. It's a Jeep, but you definitely do feel all those bumps and little cracks and divots in the road. So it's definitely an off-road vehicle. You can definitely tell that in the way the suspension is set up, even when you're not actually off-roading. Alright guys, so I am going to speak a little louder now, definitely just at least so the camera can hear. But we are going up about 40 now, and it is getting louder in the cabin. Of course, you've got the wind coming from both windows being open as well as the top up. But when I'm just sitting in here having a normal conversation, I really don't have to raise my voice all that much. But I definitely am trying to now, just to make sure the camera can pick it up. So hopefully the wind noise is not too bad that you'll be able to hear my voice here. I'll get more into some of the more driving impressions here in a minute.
Alright guys, yeah, so the main thing that I believe the noise or the slight amount of noise is coming from is really the wind, because whenever we have had this soft top up and covering the entire vehicle, it really has not been any louder traveling at 55, 60 along the roadway than it has with the hard top on.
And now that we have those side windows closed as well, it is actually more normal sounding. There's not as much wind. You still definitely have the wind, and that's part of the feel of having the top off on the Jeep, and part of the appeal is you still have some of the wind and the fresh air around you, but it is not as loud in here as you might expect. We're going about 45, 47, around 50 right now. So it's really not that loud in here as you might think it would be. Alright guys, so it's just a few driving impressions. The suspension feel on the road is not bad. It's definitely not too soft. You definitely do feel the little bumps and stuff, but again, it's a Jeep. It's not going to have the smoothest ride because the suspension, especially in the Rubicon, the suspension is tuned so that you can use it off-road. So we're going to take a turn onto this road. We'll just have a little bit of an acceleration here, and obviously it's not going to be too quick. It is a turbocharged 4-cylinder, 270 horsepower, but it is a big, boxy vehicle. So that was up to 50 right there. That's really not that bad, actually. It's plenty good enough for the typical person who's going to be driving this. You're not going to be wanting to drag race or drive fast around corners on back roads or whatever. That's not who the typical buyer of this vehicle is. And that little 4-cylinder actually doesn't have that bad of an exhaust note. It sounds all right. And one interesting thing is that could be coming here shortly is Jeep could be putting a V8 under the hood of the next generation Wrangler. I've seen some little bits about that, possibly even the Scat Pack engine that could push this above 450 horsepower in a Wrangler, that you could almost combine the best of both worlds, have a quick vehicle that's also good off-road. But we will see about that when the time comes. That would be very interesting of Jeep to do. I don't know when that would happen or if that's even official, but that is some of the little things that I have heard or seen. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to go down, drop a like and subscribe, share the channel, and we will see you in the next video.
Bye guys.